Hello, 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 hello. What's going on, everybody? How are y'all doing today? My name is Michael Anthony, and welcome to Black Panther Wakanda Week. Yay! We're almost
Yay!
there. And I'm here with the illustrious Tonya Williams, who is the sponsor of this
White.
event. I'm sorry, what'd I say?
You said Tonya Williams. You
Oh,
gave me a whole new name. You gave me a whole new
I
identity.
did. Oh my goodness. And this is live. So thank you folks for bearing with us on the live stream. That's the great thing about live stream. Goodness gracious, why'd I gave you somebody else's last name.
I
Tonya
know.
White of of
That's
TMK
okay.
Staffing and Recruiting and of the Right Touch Writing Services. How are you doing today? Did I get that correct?
You got that correct. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure being with you again today, Michael Anthony.
Yes, thank you. Oh my goodness, now I'm flustered. Now I don't even know how to carry on with this interview.
That's okay.
But
That's okay.
but thank you guys for bearing with us. We're super excited to be talking about Black Panther. Just of course to let you guys know, we are hosting an exclusive private premiere cinema experience for Black Panther. It'll be tomorrow at 7 p.m. at the Alamo Drafthouse Cinema in Woodbridge, Virginia. There will be a happy hour prior to starting at 5 o'clock. I do believe that you will be there, correct?
I will be there.
Yes, and here's the Alamo Draft House if you guys need to know about that. We will be in a 256 seat theater with a 796-inch curved screen with Dolby Atmos. So it's three-dimensional sound. There are tables. People will be able to order food, buckets of popcorn, drinks, whatever it is that you guys want, because we're trying to create a experience for you, not just for you to go out to the movies and just watch something, but watch something in the comfort with other people, like-minded people that, we're all excited about this. And I'm just very appreciative of Tonya White for joining in on this journey with me. So I do appreciate you for doing this with me.
Thank you so much. And it sounds like at the Alamo, there will be no bad seats in the house. Like every single seat is
Mm-hmm.
going to be a great seat to be in. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah,
I'm excited to be there. Be in my little VIP row that I got right up in there.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
VIP guests that I got coming. So I'm so excited to be there and to be uh, in the house on this like experience.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just a movie; it's an experience that we're going to be taking a part of.
Exactly. And of course, we talked about on our first stream. So this is our third stream that we've done. The very first one, Tanya and I was sitting here talking about the event and how excited we were for it, Black Panther, and just wanting to get the word out and tell people and create this experience even virtually. So when you show up tomorrow, you'll be there in person, but to give you as much information virtually as we can, definitely want to go ahead and give that to you folks.
That's right.
Um,
And I already got my little African outfit.
oh,
I,
do you?
I, I was worried for yeah. So I was a little worried about what I was going to wear. So I haven't tried it on yet, but I got my little African gear in check. So I'm ready to be, in the full experience, the Wakanda experience. I'm
Mm-hmm.
there. I'm ready.
Mm-hmm.
So I hope everybody else who's coming is going to be dressed just as well, to just be fully engulfed in the whole experience. You don't have to wear, best dress. You don't have to be dressed as if the Black Panther. You don't have to be dressed in warrior women wear, but just be part of the whole African experience.
Exactly,
Or just
exactly.
the experience, just whatever you want to wear, just be a part of it.
But if you want to dress up as the Woman King, hey, come on. You know what I'm saying? We'll take pictures and everything like that. And, one of the things for all the people who will be attending, I will be sending out a link or at least an email address for you to share all your pictures and videos with us. So that means I can curate and edit a highlight video for us for all the people that are there. So, you come dressed up in whatever you want to, even if you're not of the African ancestry, if you are from Ireland or Germany or Asia or something like that, come in your cultural gear because we
Yeah.
want this to be a cultural experience for all.
What are you wearing, Mike?
I'm still deciding on that. I'm still deciding. I might just roll up in there with some flip flops, some slides, some socks. You know what I'm saying? Or white feet or no.
You gonna wear some black socks up to white socks up to your knees and
Yeah,
everything.
yeah, yeah.
That's cultural too.
Yeah. I'm just like one of my uncles.
Okay,
That's it. Yeah, that's as black as you can
that's a
get.
culture.
That's
It's
a
a
culture.
culture.
No, no. I'm gonna wear sort of a fusion sort of outfit tomorrow. Something a little African, something definitely African American, but I'm the host, so it's got to be business too. You know what I'm saying? It's got to be business too. So I can't release everything, but y'all see me there. Definitely looking forward to
Right.
taking many pictures with you guys.
Just a little Easter egg. Just put a little Easter egg out
Just,
here.
just, a, just a little bit, just a little bit, just a little bit. All
A
right,
little
so
hint.
yeah,
Something, something.
just something, just something. So I guess without further ado, I mean, I guess we can sit up here and just keep talking and talking and talking about the event. But what we wanted to talk to you guys about is Wakanda Forever and sort of the themes, or actually catch everybody up on what's going on as far as the MCU. So this is the trailer for Wakanda Forever, and there's a lot of different, I guess, things because Marvel has been doing this for a while. I believe their first movie, which I'll go ahead and get to right now with my graphic. Let me go ahead and pull that up. Phase 1 through 3. So, of course, people, I know that this is a little bit small. I can enlarge it if it needs to, but we won't be able to see the whole
I'm putting my
screen.
glasses on.
Okay.
So I can see better.
Right. Okay. So this right here is the cinematic timeline. So what the MCU does is they have different phases. So where they break up their movies and their shows and different things like that to tell one seamless narrative in order to get to an objective. So most of you guys know that in 2008, that's when Iron Man came. That was starring Robert Downey Jr. That was sort of the first movie that came out. Which, did you know that Robert Downey Jr. was not the first selection?
Yes, I did.
Mm-hmm. What did you think about Iron Man when you first saw it?
So, I thought it was okay, honestly. I wasn't like blown out of the water
Mm-hmm.
with Iron Man. I was like, okay. But, had I known at the time that it was going to lead to where it went to, I probably would have been more excited about it. But I wasn't that excited about Iron Man. I was like, okay. But I've always been a Robert Downey Jr. fan. So, I liked him, but I wasn't thrilled with it.
Okay.
What
I thought it was good. I thought it was good. I mean, it was different. It wasn't as campy as some superhero movies, and it just kind of felt a little bit more down to earth.
Yeah.
And I thought Robert Downey Jr. did a really good job in that.
And true. So what I loved about it was that I love ingenuity,
Mm.
and I love people using their mind to figure things out. So that was really good for me.
Right.
So I really that's what made me like it, and that's why I love him throughout the entire series is because he's a thinker.
Right.
Analysis skills. So that makes me like him throughout the entire series.
Yeah, no, I definitely liked it. And each story. So of course, this is spoiler alert for anybody who is not familiar with the Marvel Cinematic Universe. If you're not familiar, if you just kind of see Black Panther, then that's fine. But we just want to kind of catch up, so that means you're not asking questions because tomorrow when we're in the theater, we don't need you to be scooting over like, hey, what's that person's name? You know what I'm saying? We're trying to catch you up all this right now. So as you can see, there's a through line. There's the Incredible Hulk. There is Thor, Iron Man 2, Captain America, the First Avengers. Then there was the original Avenger movie, which had Thor, Captain America, Iron Man, Black Widow, Hawkeye, and
all time.
And Incredible Hulk. I'm sorry.
The first Avengers is like my favorite movie.
It was great.
I mean, it was just all of it. It just gives me I feel so warm and fuzzy all the time when I look at that movie. I really do. I just love it.
It was like a roller coaster ride.
Team building movie.
Yeah.
Like if you have a team and they're disjointed and you want them to learn how to work together, tell them look at Avengers.
Yeah, no, I'm with it. Yeah, no, I think Avengers, the first one, it was funny. It had all the heroes all at once, and because they had already done all of the individual movies, then it didn't feel overwhelming. So, and sometimes in superhero movies, they put all these different characters in one movie, and it feels like that the story gets disjointed. I.e., Spider-Man 3, which I don't know if you guys seen that with the old Tobey Maguire. They just had too many villains in there, too many stories, and it just kind of fell apart. And so what Marvel did is that they gave every Avenger their own separate movie. So that means their backstory would already be established. So that means when we get to the Avengers, we can get right to the action.
Yep. They've already been able to build their characters, and we got to understand them and relate to them and love them already by the time you got to Avengers. So yeah, we already knew them, and we got to see them already in action. So yeah, that's probably why. of that movie. So
Absolutely. Yeah, no, so no, it was really good. And one thing that they started doing around this time too is doing these post-credit scenes where you have to wait until all the way into the end of the movie to then get a hint of what the next movie is going to be. Now, some of them was for nothing. You know, some of them was like bloopers, or it just kind of talked about a little bit like a deleted scene from the actual movie. But some of them did segue to other movies that were going on.
yeah,
Like one of the ones I remember was I think it was Incredible Hulk, I believe. It was when matter of fact, no, they did it in Iron Man 1 with Nick Fury with Samuel L.
yeah,
Jackson approaching
yes.
him at the end saying we're about to form this organization, you know, we want you to be the first person. So I actually started doing that from the very beginning.
Yeah, from the very beginning. And every time you watch a Marvel movie, you better stay in that movie theater and watch it till the very end because you know you're going to do yourself a detriment if you do not, because you're going to miss out on what's going to happen in the next movie.
Right, yeah.
Hint for Wakanda Forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly. And they have so, and you know, and there's so many Easter eggs in this that kind of segues. Now, some people are comic book nerds. You know, I'm not necessarily one. I grew up loving comic books, you know, watching the X-Men cartoons, Batman cartoons, different things like that. But then as far as the comic books, I haven't kept up on it. But there are a lot of people, you know, people that's into the lore. You can go online, read the rooms, and they'll tell you how some of these things are connected. But from a cinematic point, me and Tiny got you. And, you know, but you know, and then it kind of segued into phase 2 after the first Avengers, and then we had Iron Man 3, Thor: The Dark World, which was a very dark movie. That's whenever his mother got killed in that one. They talked about the dark elves and other characters in that one. I don't know. Would you? I guess okay. Before we move on to phase
Yeah.
2, phase 1. I guess Avengers would be your top one, right?
Of all time.
Oh,
I'm
really?
sorry. I mean, just and you know, I thought it was going to be something else, but no, I get the warm and fuzzies every time I look at Avengers,
Mm,
and it's because when they're in the street in New
mm-hmm,
York and it's time to beat the bad guys, they all come together,
mm-hmm,
and Iron Man looks at Captain America and says, "It's on you, Cap."
mm-hmm.
You know, and he, you know, he had to create the strategy, and
Right.
everybody goes. It's just it's so heartwarming for me.
It is.
Yeah,
It is.
I know that movie from beginning to end. Everybody in my family can tell you I can watch that movie and get the same enjoyment out of it today that I did the very first time I watched it.
Wow. Okay. Okay. No, that's good. No, yeah, I enjoyed the movie. I think that was probably the best one out of that first phase. And then you know, then they introduced other characters like Guardians of the Galaxy and Ant Man, which Ant Man is
Mm-hmm.
hilarious. And then it goes with Age of Ultron, which kind of
Yeah.
ends phase 2, which I did not like Avengers: Age of Ultron.
No, you know what? I feel the exact same way.
That was.
I just something about that one just it fell flat with me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Fell flat with me. I don't know what it was about that one.
Right. Now, in all of these movies, what they were all leading up to is the Infinity Wars,
Yes.
which is the 5 Infinity Stones, and one is I probably should pull that up. I'll pull that up in a moment once we get done with this. But it was the evil villain Thanos, who was kind of periodically kind of stepping in with those Easter eggs, with those post-credit scenes, kind of leading up to this big battle, which became Avengers Infinity Wars and then Avengers Endgame.
Mm-hmm.
But then before we did that, we got into Captain America Civil War, which was Captain America because, of course, in the Avenger movies, Captain America, Iron Man, Thor, Hulk, all these people, they were all on the same side. But because of the events that happened in Avengers Age of Ultron, when they took out an entire country, basically,
Mm-hmm.
like didn't they lift the whole country up in the air or something like that?
Yes, yes. But excuse me. So, but what I want to say before we get there
Oh,
is,
yes.
okay, you're talking about Thanos,
Mm-hmm.
but everything that worked towards Thanos was always prevalent in every single movies
Mm.
because those Infinity Stones that he was
Right.
looking for
Right.
was in every movie. I don't know if it was in Iron Man so much.
I don't think it was, but I know it's made its first appearance in
In
Captain America: First Avengers with the Tesseract.
But so with the Tesseract.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, so we're looking at it in the order of phase 1, phase 2, phase 3 when the actual when they showed the actual movies.
Mm-hmm.
However, if you do actual timeline order,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Captain America would have been the very first movie,
Correct.
and the Infinity Stone would have made its appearance
Correct.
or in Captain America. the Tesseract. The first Tesseract, I'm sorry, was in Captain America. So it dates back, and that's timeline order, not showing, and that shows how much of a nerd I am. This is the Poindexter side of me. Because, I looked at them in the order that they came out, and then I went back and looked at them, and I told you this, I looked at them in timeline order just so I can get a good understanding of the movies itself. But the Tesseract is what it was all about. And that appeared in Captain America. It appeared in Iron Man 2. I think it was in Iron Man 2.
Yeah, so actually this right here is the complete timeline in chronological order. So this one is Captain America. So of course, we don't expect nobody to watch all of these, before tomorrow, but this at least gets us caught up to current timeline. So we do have, as you said, the first Avenger, Captain America, that's when we first get introduced as far as in chronological order. Then it's Captain Marvel, then it's Iron Man, and then it kind of segues us through, even with Black Panther in there, all the way to the last Marvel movie, which was Thor, Love and Thunder. But of course, this kind of gets us out of the phases. But no, you're correct. And actually, there is a video that I can share with everybody that sort of goes through this. I think, hold up. There we go. So as you can see, in this video kind of slides through. Hold on, let me go ahead and take it back. Oh, can I take it back? Nope, it won't let me take it back. Okay, but this is sort of in the order that's shifting behind us as far as, all the different movies that came out. And like we said, they all sort of intertwine together because when we finally get to the Infinity War part, then that's whenever everybody has to kind of come together in the Infinity War Endgame saga. So
yeah, and I'm so sorry I dissected it like that. That's again, like I said, the nerdy part of me that did that just now. But it was just like the whole goal of every single thing. Like that was the goal of every single movie was Thanos and those Infinity Stones. Like even when Guardians of the Galaxy, I had no idea that's when he was going out on the ship. That's to find that stone, that's exactly what it was about. Still no clue at that point.
So out of these first ones, I'm gonna put you on the spot. out of this first three phases, what were your top three? Obviously Avengers.
Obviously Avengers. I love Captain America.
The first Avengers?
Yeah, the first Avengers.
Okay.
I love Captain America. And
you want to do 5? You want to do 5?
You asked me. No, don't be switching up. You asked me my top 3, right?
Top 3, right?
Okay. Oh my gosh. I liked Captain Marvel because I love women kicking ass. I just do. That's just what I'm about.
Yeah. Me too.
But I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know what my third one is yet.
Okay.
I mean, I love Black Panther. Oh, but no. Okay. Yeah.
Put you on the spot in real time.
You did.
Now, of course, everybody, while she's thinking about that, our chat is open. Our chat is open. So, if you're in the chat, give us your top 3. Out of this.
Top 3.
Yeah. So let's make it a little engaging with the audience that have tuned in. And thank you for tuning in. Michael Anthony of PureFlow Productions here with Tonya White of the Right Touch LLC and TMK Staffing and Recruiting.
And if for some reason somebody wants to text me your question and you are like part of my audience, you can feel free to text me and I will ask your question here because I have my cell phone.
Right. Okay. Oh, so the VIPs can go ahead and hit up the sponsor if they need to and not even put their stuff out there in the street.
That's right. You don't have to put yourself out there on the street. Just ask any question. Tiana asked a question.
Okay.
Tiana said, do the TV shows on Disney count?
They do. And we're going to get to that. We're going to segue to that. But yes, the TV shows do intertwine, especially the Loki, which we'll get to, a little bit later.
Villain.
Which actually Loki was very important because he was Thor's brother, who was the main villain in the Avenger movies. But then he was the mischief guy who led us all the way up until Infinity Wars, and also the End Game. But then
Right.
he had a spinoff show that does sort of open up this whole new phase that we're about to go into.
Right.
But let me answer the question. I would say, let's see now. Just okay. Black Panther.
Hmm.
Now this is not in no order, okay, folks, no order, but it would probably have to be Black Panther. Infinity Wars to me was such a good movie. I thought it could have been nominated for an Academy Award. Infinity War
You
was
think so?
amazing.
Infinity Wars?
Infinity War was
Okay.
now, of course, I know people because the bad guy won, but if you look at that story, as they gave the villain a hero's journey.
Yeah.
As far as I'm a filmmaker, so sometimes I got to bring in some of these technical things into the game. But whenever you write a script and you have like a hero's journey, there's a 3-act structure and there's these other components as far as how to write a good story. Most of them are 3-act structures, but it's the pacing of it of whenever the hero reaches a conflict or there's no return and all these other things. So in the Infinity War, they gave the villain all the backstory, all the screen time because we had already seen the Avengers already in
Mm-hmm.
the previous movies. So in Infinity War, we saw Thanos almost as a hero because even what he was trying to do was even heroic if you think about it. Because he was trying to the snap, try to
Yeah.
take people out because uh not specimens, good note, species around the universe were killing the planets. And
Mm-hmm.
so he was like, well, because we're overpopulated and there's no more resources. And even at the end, my man is sitting, on his porch looking at his garden that he knows ain't nobody gonna come stomp on over there.
Yes. Yes.
So that's why that they gave the villain the history. I mean, not the history, but the hero arc, and you
Yes.
rarely see that in a movie where the villain gets that treatment and not the heroes.
No, I get it. Um, but again, I won't put that as my top three.
Okay, that's fine. You had yours.
Black, I'm sorry, Avengers,
Mm-hmm.
Captain America,
Mm-hmm.
and Black Panther are my top three.
Okay, okay, okay. You said Black Panther, Avengers, and Captain Marvel.
Captain America.
Okay, okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. Um,
So Tiana said She-Hulk. She loves She-Hulk. She-Hulk. That's
She Hulk.
somebody's commenting on my
Okay, yeah,
Facebook.
yeah, yeah. Go ahead and thank you, Tiana, for your questions.
I haven't actually seen She-Hulk, so I really don't.
Yeah, we haven't seen that, but I'm hoping
Have
everybody's
neither of us seen that,
right,
Tiana?
right. So hopefully everybody's sort of caught up that this is the first 3 phases that got us all the way up into the Infinity Wars. Black Panther, T'Challa's character was first introduced in Phase 3 in Civil War, where he fought with Captain America against Iron Man, and his father gets killed in Civil War. So
Mhm.
now he has to be crowned the
Right,
king of Wakanda, and then that
right.
leads us into Black Panther, where the ones that we're obviously everybody should be very familiar with that story.
And what I loved about Black Panther
Mm-hmm.
was the fact, well, other than the
Mm-hmm.
the hero, the women kicking ass,
Right.
but was that they were and we actually talked about this last week, was that they were so far technology wise ahead of
Mm-hmm.
everybody else in the not in the United States, in the world.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
their technology was far exceeded
Right.
everybody. Their intelligence far and intelligence is so amazing, it's
Mm-hmm.
so wonderful, it's so attractive.
Mm-hmm.
And so that is what I loved about Black Panther
Mm-hmm.
and why I listed that top two.
Mm-hmm.
It's just because it was great. You know, they far exceeded everyone, where everybody thought outside of their country
Mm-hmm.
thought that, oh my gosh, it's a poor country. They don't have anything.
Mm-hmm.
Guess what? Surprise, they have everything and then some. They
Everything
could
in there.
save you if they wanted to.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
Sorry.
hold on. Did I lose us?
It's
Oh,
still
still rolling. Okay, my bad. I'm sorry. I thought I had another technical difficulty. All right. So that's our, so the Infinity War with the Infinity Stones is what got us here, and then of course in the end game they had to use time travel and the multiverse in order, well, really time travel in
travel.
order to, because and I'm moving ahead. Sorry. In Infinity War is because the villain Thanos he won with the snap, as I think we previously discussed. So then they had to do the end game of how they were going to fix it. Now everything was set 5 years in advance because they had what they called the blip, and people who had disappeared, which T'Challa also disappeared, and there was a few other Avengers that disappeared during that time. There was 5 years, in between the end of Infinity Wars and Endgame, that they assembled Tony Stark. He felt that in Infinity Wars he lost. He was out in space. He got stabbed by Thanos. He went home. They lost. And then 5 years later, he comes up with the idea for time travel. And then that's when
he doesn't come up with it. The Ant-Man came up with it.
No.
Ant-Man. I just watched it the other day. Come on, honey. Listen. Ant-Man came up with the time travel. Tony actually made it work.
Okay, so the quantum realm, whatever makes Ant-Man small. As far as going into the quantum realm, yes. Ant-Man and the ant suit, as far as them being able to shrink themselves down enough, because Ant-Man, he can shrink as big or as small as he needs to be. But if he shrinks so small, then he goes into this quantum realm. And so they needed that technology in order to do the time travel. But the math part, Tony Stark came up with.
Yeah, Tony fixed it. Yes. Tony fixed it. So when Ant-Man came out 5 years later,
came out of the quantum realm, right?
Came out of the quantum realm, and the blip was going on. He was like, "Oh, flip, what's going on here?" And the world was different. So he realized that, oh, I think time travel can save the world. And so he went to Captain America. And so Captain America and Scarlet, I keep
Black Widow.
Black Widow.
Yeah, you better call her by her government name.
I know. Her government name. Then they found Tony, and Tony said, "I don't want any part of this because I have my wife, I have my daughter. I don't want to change things." So then Captain America then went to the Hulk. The Hulk tried it, and it wasn't working very well. And so, but then Tony had also figured it out. And so he then came and said, "Oh, you turn him into a baby, you turn him into an old man. Oh, so I found out the formula. This is what you got to do." So Tony's math did work.
It did.
And of course, Tony who figured it out. I'm sorry.
Yep. Oh, we're about to move ahead, so don't want to do that too far. But yeah, no, you're right. Tony did do the math, so it was a team effort. It was the Avengers.
It was a team effort.
They assembled.
They assembled.
Exactly, because they had to have Bruce Banner, who was the Hulk Bruce Banner, which I didn't really like when they introduced that guy. Because I like the blending. I didn't like the blending right now. I know that they do that in the comic book, but I like it when Bruce Banner is this nerdy guy, and then he gets angry and he turns into the Hulk Smash.
I agree.
We don't get Hulk Smash no more.
No, I agree. I like Hulk Smash. It's just I don't like it.
Well, because the reason why is because Thanos put them things on him in Infinity War. If you remember when he was on that ship, and Hulk thought he could beat up Thanos. Thanos started hitting him with them jabs and them uppercuts. I mean, he knocked him back down to earth. And then Hulk did not come out.
I know.
At all in the entire Infinity War saga. Like, he kept on trying to get him out, but Hulk was like, "No, I ain't getting it out." So that Bruce Banner had to get into the Hulk Smash, or I think Hulk. I forgot what the iron suit that Tony had created in Avengers: Age of Ultron to beat the Hulk if he gets out of control. Bruce Banner had to get into that in order to fight in Infinity War, because the Hulk after Thanos put them hands on him, Hulk was donezo. He didn't want to come out no more. So then Bruce Banner in Endgame found a way to blend the two, to where he can still have the strength and the power of Hulk, but then the intelligence of Bruce Banner. And I don't like Brucey Hulk. I don't like Brucey Hulk.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. I just felt like, my question is he as strong? Did it weaken him any at all?
I would think so, because rage.
Rage makes you strong.
Adrenaline and angry. What gets Bruce that upset for him to actually then give the full power of the Hulk. Because the one thing about the Hulk character is that as he got hurt more, the angrier he would get, the more powerful he would get. Which
Yes.
the Hulk is considered probably top two most powerful superheroes of all time because he is indestructible, and as he gets angrier, he actually gets stronger.
Yes.
So,
That's why I'm like, he can't be as strong. He
mm-hmm,
can't be as effective
mm-hmm,
when he's in this state
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
that
mm-hmm.
he's in. So
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't, you're right. I agree with you 100%.
yeah.
I like him less
Yeah,
now.
I wasn't feeling that. I wasn't feeling that at all. So then that brings us to the end of the phase 1, 2, and 3. Again, it brings us up to the Infinity War. There's so many different movies in there, and of course, we don't have enough time to go through the Easter eggs and all this other stuff. But the main through line is that the 5 Infinity Stones that were available, Thanos was able to get it. He had a goblet or whatever you call it.
Gauntlet.
Yeah, gauntlet glove, and he snapped and he was able to wipe everybody out. But then the Avengers were able to save the day in Avengers Endgame, which then leads us into our second or phase 4, which is here, which I'll go ahead and take.
I took my glasses off. I got to put them back on.
So, let me go ahead and correct this. There we go. All right. So in this one, we start off with Black Widow. Well, actually, there is one movie that is missing out of here, and that is Spider-Man. So Spider-Man did have another one called Far From Home. So that's not on this list, and that was, which I thought was a poor choice of them dropping that movie. I mean, it made $1 billion because people still had the Avengers Endgame hangover, but I thought that was a great ending. But Sony, did you know that Marvel and Disney do not own the rights to Spider-Man?
Yeah,
Sony does. Yeah, Sony does. So Sony and Marvel have an agreement for the licensing because Stan Lee back in like the 90s and Marvel, they were licensing the different characters to different production studios in order to make. And so all like X-Men, Fantastic Four, and there's a few other ones, all are on Fox. And
on Fox?
Yeah, they're owned by Fox. So the original X-Men with Halle Berry and Hugh Jackman, those are all Fox's property. Even the newer ones with the First Class and Days of Future Past, that's all Fox. Fantastic Four is Fox. And I forgot the other one that they have. And the Hulk is actually owned by Paramount Studios. So that's why the Incredible Hulk only had that one movie. And when they recasted him from Mark Ruffalo, they never did another one because Paramount, I guess, wants to control that IP. But Spider-Man is owned by Sony. And so they had an agreement to bring Spider-Man into the MCU for these purposes. And so Sony knew that they wanted to make some money on the back end. So they came out with one called Far From Home, which came out during the aftermath of what happened after Endgame.
Right. That makes sense. Okay. No, I did not know. I knew there was some mixing up going on, but I didn't know it was to that extent.
Right, because they had some contract dispute for a minute, because after Far From Home made $1 billion in the box office, Marvel and Sony had to renegotiate, or there wasn't going to be a Spider-Man in none of the MCUs again. And so Sony really had Disney and Marvel by the cojones, as they say. And so they had to sort of come up with an agreement based off of Sony's terms. And then, of course, Sony came out with Spider-Man. What is the one called with the Miles Morales? It's the cartoon one. Have you seen that one?
No, I have not.
Into the Spider-Verse.
Into the Spider-Verse. Yes.
I'm gonna tell you right now.
Tell
that
me.
movie, and it's a cartoon though. The story, it might be the best Marvel movie of all time.
So I have been told that.
Ooh, that
I have actually heard that. That's why I even know the name, because I have been told that by my son, by my daughter. Yeah. So I've been told that, yes. Yeah,
Into the Multiverse or Into the Spider-Verse, that thing is fire. I mean, that thing is so good. But it's not part of the MCU. But Sony, since they already had Tom Holland playing Spider-Man, they was like, well, we'll do this animated one, make it really cool, but then bring in Miles Morales because he is, not Peter Parker. And created a whole new franchise, whole new timeline based off of that. So Sony's like, yeah, we about to make, and then also Andrew Garfield, which may actually have a third movie to his saga because Spider-Man right now, would have 3 different trilogies with 3 different Spider-Mans.
Right.
The first one was with Tobey Maguire. Then the second one was with Andrew Garfield. That he had the last one they did was when Jamie Foxx played Electro.
Yeah, I remember
But
that.
people hated that. And so they
Yeah.
never did a third one. And then the MCU came out. Tom Holland took over the role. And then this last one, Homecoming, they had the multiverse open up and they brought back Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield from their worlds because the villains from those franchises came into Homecoming. And so because everybody loved Andrew Garfield in that movie, Sony's thinking about going ahead and giving him a send-off third movie.
Okay. And this is part of the multiverse.
This would be part of the multiverse, but it won't be part of the MCU.
Okay.
I know it gets complicated, and that's what we're trying
No,
to keep
but no, I'm getting it. I'm picking up what you're putting down,
Right.
but slowly though,
Okay.
because it's a little confusing.
It can be okay. Well, but that's the only one that's missing out of this timeline right here is the Spider-Man Far From Home film. But
Okay.
everything else here is correct. You know, you had Black Widow film. This was sort of her prequel because spoiler alert.
Yes.
She catches it in Infinity War. She don't make it out. So they wanted to give her an homage for this one. And of course, this film was sort of controversial because it came out in 2020. Now remember, we weren't going to the theaters in 2020. Go ahead.
No. I was just going to say, because this happened during the blip. Her film happened during the blip. Right?
No. Her film happened, as far as in the timeline, her film happened right before Infinity War started.
Right before?
Yep.
Oh, was it?
Yep,
Okay.
Yep, right before. Hold on, let me see if I can pull
okay.
up that graphic. I believe so. Yes.
Okay. Oh, is it on there?
It is. It should. Yep. Matter of fact, in the timeline of this, her timeline happened right before Black Panther.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Mhm.
Oh, okay. Got it.
Yep.
Okay.
So this is the chronological order as far as the timeline. So hers happened before Endgame, before Thor, Ragnarok, before. No Way Home was the third one. I'm sorry. No Way Home was the third one. Homecoming was the first Marvel Spider-Man movie. Then Far From Home. Then No Way Home. So I messed that up. So this gives you sort of the timeline as far as in the chronological order of how everything kind of lines up.
Okay. All right. I got it now. Okay.
All right. So then, and then of course, this is also when they introduced the TV shows, which is WandaVision and Loki, which were really too good. And also the Falcon and the Winter Soldier were also introduced. And that was during Disney Plus. That was during their big push, which actually all 3 of those I thought were really good, and it really did sort of open up this whole new storyline for the multiverse.
Yes, and I thought it was good that they actually, like, Loki made me love him even more. I mean, he was a villain that you love to hate because he had a good, compassionate side too, but you got to see more of his backstory or just why he was who he was. I don't know. It was just something about him. I thought it was really well written. So.
Yeah, I thought it was good too. Just throughout with his character, just how he was sort of ping ponged around and he would die in one or missing him and they'd resurrect him. It was just, they started getting old a little bit.
Yeah, at that point I was like, huh.
Yeah. But the show though, it does.
But that was a little much for me too. Just who he is overall. I related. I liked him. So what was? Oh, the Eternal. Okay, I see. I was trying to see what that is. Yeah, I watched those. Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
WandaVision. Yeah, I watched them.
Shang-Chi. I didn't see the What Ifs.
And I didn't see that either.
And I haven't finished watching Hawkeye either.
I haven't finished watching that.
Yep.
And I did not watch Thor.
Okay.
I mean, it's on my list. It's on my list. I'll get to it, but something else took priority.
Well, I would say that it would appear that really none of these really affect Black Panther Wakanda Forever in a way that the other films did.
What about Winter? Yeah, not Winter Soldier either.
No, not Falcon and Winter Soldier because this is all in Wakanda, and at least from the trailers, it doesn't appear that. I mean, there might be some Easter eggs. Now, actually, that may happen because Marvel is really good at that as far as putting some Easter eggs in there. But like the Eternals, that was just sort of introducing that character. Shang-Chi, that introduced that character, but then did bring in some of the Easter egg stuff. It corrected a huge Iron Man 2 flaw that people hated, and that was the Mandarin, the villain in that movie. He was supposed to be of Asian descent. And he was the one of the major villains in Iron Man. But then they had Sir Kingsley, Sir what's his name? Ben Kingsley, the guy who played Gandhi, right?
Yeah, I know you talking.
Right. He played the role, but as like a doppelganger, as like a stand-in. He wasn't even the real villain, and people took issue with that because the character was supposed to be so rich in the Marvel lore, and then you replace this Asian character with this white man who then was just an actor, you know. But then in Shang-Chi, the Mandarin is there, and he does have some control, you know, but and they do actually correct that mistake and why people hated Iron Man 2.
See, I don't think now that I don't think I've seen Shang-Chi. Now that you're talking about it, I don't think I've watched it. So I actually have things to watch tonight. I might have to. Not that I'm going to watch everything tonight because you know it's a short time frame.
Right.
I'm going to actually have to watch a couple of these tonight just so I can get the frame of reference.
Hey girl, we can go ahead and get a watch party going.
Yeah, okay, because it won't start until after 10 o'clock tonight.
Right.
So I might fall asleep while I'm watching it.
Right. Okay. No. Another time. And then they did. Now, of course, the timelines for this is a little bit different. Now, when I got this graphic, this was prior to COVID, so a lot of these movies did get pushed down the line. So, like the Multiverse of Madness didn't come out until this year, and Thor: Love and Thunder didn't come out until this year. The What If came out beforehand. But yeah, those two, the Multiverse of Madness and Thor: Love and Thunder, did not come out until 2022. So they didn't update their graphic because really what happened is the COVID really messed up their timeline with a lot of things. So when they were expecting to release certain projects, that it just didn't, you know, come to fruition. But then we have Phase 5, which is supposed to be the next phase that we're going into, which, you know, we're not going to get too much into this, but this is what they're anticipating that's going to happen after Wakanda Forever. And this was an early, I think they released this back in July of this year when Disney and Marvel have their big conferences to discuss their timelines and characters and what movies are in production and who's going to be playing what character. And sometimes they just automatically just put out there, we're making these movies, but we ain't found the person to write the script or the actor or anything like that. You know, they'll just, I mean, they had movies at one point scheduled all the way out to 2026. Which,
wow.
You know, they're trying to get people hyped up and they're trying to make more content. Now, a lot of these things, as we can see, Loki 2 is going to come back out. Echo, we have the Marvels, Secret Invasion, which ties into the Captain Marvel story. Ironheart, which is actually a character that's going to appear for the first time in Wakanda Forever, and I'm going to get to her in just a moment. Kiki Williams, I believe is her name. Riri. And then the new Captain America, played by Anthony Mackie, who was the Falcon. He's the new Captain America, and so now he gets his own solo film as well. Yeah, but this right here is sort of what leads us up. Oh, hold up, not this one. Where is it at? Oh, here we go. So really what it all leads up to is this new storyline that they're developing, which is the Multiverse Saga. And as you can see, Black Panther is part of that. So I think this is sort of them, Marvel and Disney, sort of changing it up a little bit as far as how COVID affected them, as far as the storytelling, but then still trying to stay true with what they want. So these are all the movies that you can expect coming after. Now, there is She-Hulk, Attorney at Law. I did not watch that one, so I don't know how that pulls in. And I'm not gonna lie, I kind of got superhero fatigued.
Yeah, I get you.
Yeah, and I didn't watch Miss Marvel. I didn't watch Moon Knight.
I watched Moon Knight.
Okay, was that good?
I watched Moon Knight. I liked it, actually. It was, I mean, I've heard some people say they didn't like it. I watched that one, actually, and I liked it. It was okay. It was, for a second I was confused, but no, I got it. It was good.
And then they have a werewolf by Halloween one that just came out too. And then they also have Morbius, I believe, the one with the bat.
So I haven't seen
that either.
I've heard of it, haven't seen it.
So folks, just to let you know, we can catch you up to a certain extent. but some of the stuff, I mean, because when it came down to it, it's just that they started saturating us with content, you know, and this is one of my critiques when it comes to Disney, period. And I'll go ahead and take this off just so I can go ahead and give y'all how I really feel. Okay. So Disney is a corporation. You know what I'm saying? They're a huge corporation. You know that they're a monopoly at this point in time. They bought Fox. They bought ABC. They got ESPN. They got Disney Plus. If you have Disney Plus, their library is massive. They haven't caught up to Netflix because Netflix has such a head start, but I think they're getting close to it just because of all the backlog and stuff they have. But what Disney's trying to do is they're trying to make as much money as they can. And they're trying to flood us with enough content to where it feels like we have to pay attention to every show in order for us to understand what's going on. I can tell you right now, it doesn't, from at least what I've been seeing, any rumors, which we're not going to do any spoilers here, that if you did not watch She-Hulk or Miss Marvel or any of those other films, you won't be too lost watching Black Panther Wakanda Forever. I mean, and also the quality of the movie started going down and the TV shows. And so I had to kind of step back. I did watch all of the movies. Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, that was straight trash. And it was way violent than a PG-13 movie should be. And I'm sorry, like I got kids. And I don't want to be the old person, but like I have a 15-year-old.
Yeah.
So I can take him to go see that. But then my 5-year-old, like I feel comfortable taking my 5-year-old to go see Iron Man or the Avengers, there was some action or whatever. In Doctor Strange, that thing was
too much.
It was just too much. It was just too much. It was definitely not a really PG-13 movie, and the storyline was confusing, and even how they structured the villain, I thought was all dumb. And then the last one, which is Thor: Love and Thunder, they tried to make it into a comedy, and it fell so flat. And it was.
Did it really fall?
Oh
my gosh.
There's so many issues.
You feel uncomfortable.
Yeah, it was just uncomfortable. And then, and this is a big spoiler if you haven't seen it, but they do say orgy twice. Now, this is a movie that's PG-13.
Really?
It's PG-13. Yes, they say it twice. And again, taking your child to it, it's PG-13 now. If you were to send your child to a PG-13 movie and your child's 13, 14, 15, do you want them to see or hear the word orgy twice?
They don't need to see that.
Yeah, I mean, let them still be kids. Why we got to talk about this? And there's some other themes that they had in there that was just like, okay, y'all are really pushing the envelope on this whole PG-13 rated R kind of thing. So my thing is that I'm excited for Black Panther Wakanda Forever because I know that they took their time in order to make sure that this was a good story. And that really is what makes a good story, is whenever people take time. That's why if you ever watch The Lord of the Rings, they shot all those movies all at one time. They didn't take any breaks. They took it all at one time. There's also some movies that did, or TV shows and content that did take their time and fell flat. So I'm hoping that doesn't happen with this. But the thing is, though, with them producing so much content and some of it's good, some of it's bad, I think that it's going to be difficult for them to keep up with the wave.
Yeah. I mean, it's changing, it's evolving just because they know that they have a massive audience. And so they're just trying to serve their audience. That's why they're distributing so much content, so much all the time, because they want to make sure that people keep coming back to them, which is why, no matter what, just because it has MCU on it, just because it has Marvel on it, people are going to watch it, whether it's good or bad, people are going to keep coming. You're going to critique it all you want, but people are still going to pay that money to keep coming. No matter what you say. So
no matter what you say, yeah. So, but they did start losing money though. Like people are starting to become a lot more sophisticated when it comes to the content that they consume. Especially after the pandemic, people didn't feel comfortable.
I was about to say just that. People have been locked in the house for so long. They didn't have much of a choice in what they were looking at. But now that they're able to go out, they can spend money doing other things than watching Marvel movies 24/7.
Pretty much. Yeah. I mean, and also theaters can be expensive a little bit, and also there's not anything, other than you going to the movies and spending, $80 on food and popcorn and things like that. Yeah. Which, of course, brings us to that. If you want to enjoy if you want to have a great experience, come on out if you live in the Washington, D.C. area and come check out a premier cinema experience sponsored by The Right Touch LLC and TMK Staffing and Recruiting, hosted by PureFlow Productions. We want to make this to where it's not just you going out to the cinema and, you know, sitting in chairs that don't recline and, you know, probably got some gun underneath the seat. No. We pulling out all the stops. We pulling up all
No
the
gum.
stops. Right,
No.
exactly. No gum at all. But I don't know. I'm pretty excited. I don't know if there's really anything else that we didn't cover. I mean, right now, as far as the MCU story, it's still sort of fluid, you know, but what they're doing is they're building up to this multiverse. And essentially what the multiverse is parallel universes that are just like in the timeline that we're in right now, but then there's several copies, you know, that are in the universe. And Loki actually is the one who introduced that. And that there are variants of different characters. So that means there's a variant of Black Panther. There's a variant of Iron Man. There's a variant of the X-Men and different characters like that throughout, you know, this multiverse. And Loki did a good job because it was people that looked like the character that we're used to, but then they also had a pig, I think, and, you know, that was one, and an old man, you know. So, you know, a woman even was Loki in a different multiverse. So now so this whole storyline right now is going into this multiversal storyline, which is the multiverse saga. But everything that leads us up to Black Panther, you know, we know that Chadwick is no longer with us right now. So they definitely had to make some adjustments in order to make this movie. It doesn't appear that they did any deep fake, you know, things on him. You know, I don't know if he'll make an appearance or not, but we'll find out first tomorrow. But I don't know. Is there anything else I'm kind of leaving out?
You know what? I was actually having a conversation, probably not, but I don't mean to extend this and make it longer, but I was having a conversation with someone the other day, and they said that they were pissed at the fact that instead of just recasting the role, that they're giving it to, you know, making it obvious that they're giving the Black Panther to somebody else to fill. You know, they think, you know, oh, Chadwick Boseman, he's just replaceable. Why don't they just recast the role? They just thought it was just terrible that they are doing it the way that they're doing it. You understand? What are your thoughts about that?
Oh, that's a great question. So I think they couldn't recast T'Challa. I think the audience would not have believed it. I think we've already got attached. And whenever they've recasted roles in the middle of an already established storyline, it never works. The only time it worked, you know, sort of in supporting, so like Incredible Hulk. The first Incredible Hulk was played by Edward Norton, and that was in the original movie, which is part of the MCU, but then his next appearance was by Mark Ruffalo. They didn't give him a solo movie. You know, it was kind of weird seeing him in the Avengers as that, but then we've gotten used to it because we've seen him in so many movies. And then they did it with War Machine. Because Terrence Howard played him in Iron Man 1, and Don Cheadle has since donned that. But again, these are sort of like supporting characters. But then to do a major character and just replace them with another actor, it just would have felt weird. And, you know, they're trying to keep the storyline together. It's unfortunate, you know, obviously that, you know, cancer, please get your screenings when you can, because cancer is a beast. And so you definitely want to make sure that you're staying on top of that type of stuff. But I think that by recasting him, I think the audience would have known better. The audience would have hated it.
Of course the audience would have known. We all know that Chadwick Boseman is not with us anymore. So of course, you know, it's obvious. But, you know, this person was just like, you know, it's going to be trash because they could have, they just could have done better. They could have just recast it. I was like, well, I never thought about it that way, but I disagree. I disagree. Yeah, because I felt like this is a good way to honor, you know, Chadwick Boseman. I think that, you know, he's leaving a legacy behind. And, you know, just like, because think about it, just like, you know, his father was Black Panther before him and then gave it to T'Challa, you know, it would have eventually had to go to someone else anyway.
It would have had to, yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty sure that in the scope of how they wanted his story to be, Chadwick Boseman was probably going to get the 3-film trilogy treatment. And he was going to be in all of the Avengers sort of tie-in movies. But then eventually, just like with Iron Man, just like with Captain America, they're switching these roles up now. You know, Captain America now is played by Anthony Mackie and not Chris Evans. And this is a great segue because now we have a new character being introduced into Wakanda Forever, which I know some people may or may not be familiar with this character or not. But it's Ironheart, which
Mm-hmm.
you guys probably seen the commercials for. So this character right here, now this is a fan made trailer. Okay, so this is not officially from Disney as far as what I can see, but
Mm-hmm.
what this is Tony Stark picked a black female MIT student to then give all of his research to, and now her name is Riri Williams, and now she will be donning the Iron Man suit from henceforth. So, and yep,
Ooh.
and as far as and her character, I think was first introduced in 2016 or 15, and so it's going to be a Disney Plus show. But that's a new character that will be introduced into Black Panther, of a new black female lead that will be playing Iron Man moving forward. So what's your thoughts on that, sister?
Oh, you already know my thoughts on that. Okay, because I've just sat here like for this today and the other day talking about how I love, these black female leaders.
Mm-hmm.
I love intelligence, so she has both. She's a black female leader with intelligence with the MIT. She's building things,
Mm-hmm.
she has ingenuity, I'm about it. So I can't wait to see this now. So I didn't know about this. You just taught me something. You just
Yeah.
told me something new.
See,
So
that's what you
I'm
get on PureFlow
excited for
Pods.
it.
Yeah. This is a new character. They've already announced that she was going to be in it. But yeah, this comic book character, got introduced in the mid 2010s, I believe. And yeah, she takes over for Iron Man. And so since Tony Stark is no longer going to be donning the Iron Man suit, they were trying to figure out who was going to do that. And Marvel had already built into, the MCU, even when they were making Iron Man, that this black woman character would come in. They want to get more diverse.
Yeah,
And of course,
Black girl magic.
Black
Black
Girl
girl.
Magic.
Right.
And so, yeah, Riri Williams will be the new Iron Woman, but her name is Ironheart. And
Ironheart.
and so
I like.
and so I believe her and Siri, since Siri is also a genius in with technology, I think they're
Mm-hmm.
going to team up in this Wakanda Forever and build a nice little sisterhood, a little Soul Ra connection.
Love it. Love it. So
Yeah.
you see a fan made
Yep.
preview.
Yeah, the one I showed before, this one right here is on YouTube. And what I'll do is with the links that I have, I'll put them in the description. And so then people can access them if they want to, if they want to get more information, especially about the MCU, because they do have some videos. The thing is that some of them are between 8 to 30 minutes. And obviously I ain't got enough, we ain't got enough time to be going through all of that.
Mm-hmm.
And right now I think we're probably running a little bit over right now.
Oh, I'm sorry. I think it's my fault because I asked a question. So
No, girl. It's never your fault. It's never your fault, girl. Nah. You good. You good. But no, we just just want to introduce that character. So be looking out for Ironheart. She's the new black female lead for Marvel, which it seems like the women are running the world right now. There's not too many male Marvel heroes left in these streets. It's just women taking over.
I ain't saying nothing.
I'm not mad. Trust me. This is not disapproval.
Yeah.
But I will say that there are people out there in the interwebs that do not like this. But of course, these are the same people that don't like whenever the characters have like race blind casting.
Well, that's okay.
You know.
Well, we're just going to let things play out as they may.
Mm-hmm.
And whoever the leaders are, just let them lead,
Mm-hmm.
just let them lead. And things will fall out as they should.
Absolutely. I'm with it. Yeah. So, I don't have anything else. I think, we gave a pretty good description. People really didn't miss anything. It's really the Infinity Wars when Black Panther was introduced. And that now they're going through this multiverse of madness. And of course, there's videos online that can kind of give you a little bit more. I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys will be watching Black Panther, the first movie, either tonight or tomorrow, so you can get kind of ready for it. But I guess we don't have any chat. And anybody on your chat say anything?
No, I think they are done.
They're done?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think they
Not a
wore
problem.
them out.
We wore them out. Information
Yes.
overload. Information overload.
Yes. Okay, they'll come back and talk about it and think about it and ask questions.
Absolutely. Well, guys, we definitely appreciate it again. My name is Michael Anthony, owner and creative director of PureFlow Productions, and I'm here with the sponsor of this event, the Premier Cinema Experience. Tonya White of the Right Touch LLC and TMK Staffing and Recruiting. We're super excited. Of course, if you live in the Washington, D.C. area, please come out and join us. Tickets are available online. Also, if you want to just show up and give me some cash or cash at me, hey, I take that too. So however we want to do it, we can make it do what it do.
Make it do.
But no, I'm super excited. And again, thank you again for, on this journey with me. And for all the people, we definitely have some people who are coming that we're looking forward to seeing and building with. And we're going to be, making some more content. And, we got to think about the next event that we're going to do. I don't know what it's going to be, but we got to think of something.
Something good. Something that everyone will feel comfortable coming to and feel welcome.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, guys, I think that is all I have. I do not have any outro music. So all I'm going to say is love. Oh, unless, of course, there's something you have to say, Ms. White.
No, nothing at all. Thank you for, again, letting me be a part of this. So I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Well, thank you. Thank you again. And guys, can't wait to see you. Can't wait to hear your comments. Of course, like and subscribe, please. And love, peace, and power.